Hello, comic book fans. We're back with another episode of Cbfu from the shop. This time it's for the week of November 19th, and we got a lot of books, especially from Marvel Comics. So then, I just get us started.
Sure. First book is New Avengers 26. This is continuing the Time Runs Out. Hickman's leading up to Secret Wars, and it's another really good chapter in this book. We get the reintroduction of another Avenger who hasn't been in the book since Time Runs Out started.
Right.
And you see it by cover. It's Mr. Tony Stark. Yeah. And also two other Avengers actually who haven't been in Time Runs Out yet either.
It's just the way that Hickman has kind of placed this, like he knew from the very beginning where he wanted to go, and now that he takes this jump into the future, you can kind of see how everything was purposefully and meticulously laid out. It's just great to be able to read this story, still not know where he's going, even though he's taking us into the future, and still want to see how everything's laid out in the past. Like, between where he is now and where he was, and then where he's going, there's just so much information, and it's just so enjoyable to be able to...
Yeah, no, at this point, I'll follow Hickman wherever he wants to.
Seriously.
The art's by Kev Walker. It's not his strongest art. It looks a little rushed.
More akin to his work on Avengers Undercover.
Yeah. It's not as good as the last couple of issues. But the story is still a very good chapter. It's a little slower than some of the previous chapters of Time Runs Out, but still well worth your time and money. I'd give it 8 out of 10 Lugos. I really enjoy it. Really enjoying the whole storyline.
Next up, let's shift to DC, and we have a new jumping on point for Wonder Woman. This is the beginning of Finch's stint on the title, and everybody is still raving about Azzarello and what's his name, Cliff Chang, and that was just a fantastic run for Wonder Woman. One of the best Wonder Woman stories I've ever read, and this is a very different book from that. Like, it doesn't have that lighthearted family aspect to it, even though it does bring Wonder Woman's connection with the Amazon back to the forefront. But overall, looking at it on its own merits, it was a strong first issue. Of what they want to do, the type of Wonder Woman they want to make. It is just hard to get that disconnect from what we just had to what is this.
I really tried to give this book a shot. I really did. I was a fan of Azzarello and Chang's work. I really enjoyed their run. This book is not for me anymore. It's clearly not for me. I don't know who it's for. It is just such a dumber book, in my opinion.
It's the high octane action.
They took an intelligent book and they said, let's dumb it down to here, and that's where it is right now.
Well, one thing I'll give it though is it was strong outing for David Finch.
If you don't look at all the faces, there were
a couple of spreads that I like. Like, there's one where something happens, this whole disaster happens, where again, Swamp Thing is
that was in the preview page.
Yeah,
they showed
the whole Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman. That spread that he had of Wonder Woman kicking Swamp Thing in the face, that was strong David Finch. That kind of made me, miss the old David Finch, like when he was working on the on Ultimate X-Men and
Avengers, stuff like
that.
But
even still, it was consistent.
What about that Justice League spread?
Oh, that was
And it's another problem. The Swamp Thing, he's such an idiot character in this book.
Exactly.
And he's not an idiot character in his own book. It's just a stupid book. I didn't enjoy it. But how many Lugos would you give it?
For jumping on point, the first new issue of the arc, Meredith Finch did a pretty good job. She's to be commended. I mean, she's a rookie out the gate. And I would give it a 6 out of 10 Lugos.
Oof, that is far more generous than I would have been. I would give it 2 out of 10 Lugos, and then I think I was being generous for that.
Okay.
The next book is another book from DC Comics. It's a new jumping on point. This is Superman Wonder Woman. This is Superman Wonder Woman number 13. This is Peter Tomasi's debut in the book with Doug Mahnke on art. And first, let me just say, Doug Mahnke's art,
it's been missed.
It is beautiful stuff.
It's so gorgeous.
Comparing this to Finch's stuff, it's just like two completely different worlds.
Well, see, and that's the good thing about DC. I felt like they kind of knew maybe that, the Finch's Wonder Woman was a little bit weaker, so they kind of had this Wonder Woman launch concurrently with Superman Wonder Woman. So you have, two very different takes on the character.
But it's great because Peter Tomasi brings the focus back to the Wonder Woman-Superman
relationship, because that book has been caught up with so many events.
Yeah, no, I think it really lost something after the first 5 issues with Charles Soule. Got caught up in the doomed event and everything, and it really hurt the book substantially. But I think this is a nice new beginning, a new start for this book, and I think it's worth checking out.
What DC needs to do is just put Peter Tomasi on every series, like his Batman and Robin, his Superman and Wonder Woman. I want to see Flash and Green Lantern from Peter Tomasi now.
He's really strong writer, and he doesn't get enough work for DC. If DC knew what they were doing, they would put him in
At least 6 books.
Yeah, at least. If Jeff Johns can only write 2 books, he should be writing the next other 2 books. But it was really good. I would give it 7 out of 10 lupus. It was good.
And finally, we're back at Marvel, and we have, this is supposed to be a big issue coming out today, Inhumans issue number 8. Now, Marvel is pushing this book especially hard, with supposedly to tie in with tonight's episode.
Yeah, they're most likely going to be revealing Adelana in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight.
I mean, this was a strong book for just for the simple fact that if you needed to jump on Inhumans and you hadn't been following from issue number 1, you could just come into this and they kind of reintroduce everybody all over again. And not only that, there's a couple of introductions to characters that they haven't been showing in the series. And actually, I found he was the strongest character of the book. I can't actually remember his name.
The cop, the detective.
Yeah, he's a detective.
Really cool new
He's
character.
got the Dragon Ball Z solar flare ability. But it basically just tackles them trying to find out, where's Black Bolt and trying to bring him back to Attilan, New Attilan. And I thought it was just very strong.
Yeah, I like the art. What was the art?
Pepe Larraz.
He was really good.
Had a couple of issues of Wolverine and the X-Men. It's just a very crisp, cartoony, but sort of realistic.
It reminded me like
Copiel type of look to it. It was good. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I would give it 9 out of 10 Lugos.
Cool. All right, that's it for us from CBFU from the shop for this week. We'll be back next week with more reviews of new books, and have a great week and go out and buy some comics.
See you later, guys.